Alright, time to clean this shit up. So, Seal 1 doesn't require a ton of lubrication, so I just put a light coat on there and I start scrubbing. And look at how that carbon comes right off. And I'm just using a Q-tip. I'm not using any crazy brushes. I'm not getting down and dirty. I'm just rubbing this stuff here. Okay? Alright. And a Q-tip is about all I use on my stuff. I don't get into the whole wire brush thing. Maybe if I had a really dirty machine gun or something, then I might get into that. But Seal 1 pretty much doesn't require a lot of scrubbing, and that's what I really like about it. It is expensive, so you want to be conservative with what you're using it on and how much you're using. First time I used it, I used too much, and my gun was soaking wet as soon as it heated up. So that might be good for some of you full auto guys. If you're looking for a good lubricant for your full autos, man, this stuff, I mean, it turns to liquid as soon as it gets to any kind of temperature. And it's awesome. Also, for preventative maintenance, like when I'm not going to clean it, I might just rub down some of the key components real quick so that it has some lubrication. So just a nice little wipe down. This bad boy has not been cleaned in a while. Okay? Alright, so again, little light coat. Get in there where she's dirty and just rub her down. And once I'm done rubbing this all over, taking the carbon off, and then I'll just wipe it down with a cloth, paper towel, something along those lines, call it a day. So, this is the boring part. Watching somebody clean their firearm. Okay, firing pin channel. Yeah, I get in there. I get in there with a wet one, and I'll follow it up with a dry one, because I don't want to leave any lubrication in that area. So there's my dry one. I want to rub down the side walls. Rub down my channels. Probably the same thing you guys already do at home. Q-tips, I think, are really great for the small holes. Okay, so right there is the extractor spring location. And there we have a little bit of a shelf. And my biggest problem is when I'm cleaning shit is no sooner do I clean it than I find more dirt and then I get all sensitive. I want to try and remove all of the dirt. They make stuff. What do I want to call it? They make a basically kind of a. I'm gonna have to look that up for the proper word, but they make an electronic cleaning device, so it's basically like a dishwasher for your guns. And Seal 1 actually recommends filling it up with just Seal 1 and soak it in there. It's like a heated bath. That to me sounds expensive, and it kind of depends on the size of your parts. Like Brian over there at Right Army's got one big enough that like he can put rifle barrels and stuff in it. But yeah, I pretty much shoot just pistols, and so not really needed for a guy like me. So there we go, we're getting her clean. Just wiping her down, getting the dirt off. Something you always want to pay attention to is, your firing pin tip. Make sure it's not bent, damaged in any way. Nice clean protrusion, got a good point on it. I really like that Glock uses a blade like that because it strikes deep. It's not like a round pin, it's a flat blade. It's kind of crazy. Like, it's very rare for me to have a light strike or a misfire with a Glock, and I think in a large way is because of the design of the firing pin. Such a fascinating story about Glock, by the way. If you ever get a chance to read about, Glock's book, talking about how he, wanted to get into military contracts and he wanted to build things, and, it's not a shooter, not a gun guy. Just decided he'd take a shot at building a firearm and started with a block of wood and whittled it out so it would fit his hand and kind of went from there. And there's just the simplicity of the engineering and the fact that, a tool like this is all you need in the field. It's just fascinating that, he just thought of this, not knowing how guns work. Also how he marketed and promoted it in his early start. Taking a model off the street and having her go to the academy to learn how to shoot and out shooting the boys, and then paying her to attend all the functions. Sounds like somebody I could drink a beer with. And Glock sometimes has a bad reputation when they launch a new Glock and everybody's like, it's a Glock. It looks just like all the other Glocks. A little bigger, a little smaller, shoots the same caliber. But I can say the same thing about Springfield or Smith & Wesson or CZ. Or somebody says, hey, we have a 1911. It's like, okay, you've seen one, you've seen them all. All right, that's clean. So now we got to clean this little bad boy. Cracks me up too is these are all factory parts, so I still use a factory trigger, factory internals. Like, there's nothing raced out about this. Crazy how this stuff comes right off. And this is the easiest CLP you can use. It might look like I'm scrubbing. I'm just trying to use my fingernails to get into those little areas. Like, there's no scrubbing going on here whatsoever. Like, I'm literally applying this and the stuff is just wiping right off. And you'll see that, like, once I get done cleaning it, and, it's wiped off. I don't apply the lubricant. That's it. Okay, so that's clean, that's clean, that's clean. This doesn't really matter, but hell, it's here. Might as well just rub it down real quick. Take off the goop. I don't know if you heard that, but I've got a Great Dane. He's 240 pounds. He just decided to lay down on the floor because he can't stand not being close to Dad. And as he's laying down on the floor, he let one rip. So that's going to stink up the room in a minute. Alright. Last part, barrel. So you can see that this bad boy is filthy. So this will crack you up. I'm just going to put some lubrication on here. And usually I do this at the start. Like, I'll just put some lubrication on the barrel and I'll walk away. That's the best way to do it. Wait 10 minutes, come back. This is where I'm usually pretty generous, because if I don't like scrubbing, then I get her nice and wet. This part just cracks me up. I don't even know if you guys can see this, but you can see right there, there's carbon. Right in here, there's carbon. So I'm just going to take this, and look at that. This isn't a scrub brush. This is a freaking Q-tip. See how carbon just comes right off? I am not even trying. Look how clean the Q-tip is. You can still see the orange. Crazy stuff. That's why I said that, like, I save this for the guns I like. So, just makes my job a whole lot easier. So Dave, how do you clean the barrel? Well, I'm lazy. Notice that that's not a steel brush. That's just a soft now it's soaked there for a little bit. Come across that. And oh look, it's freaking clean. I am not one who likes to clean. Okay? So if I can find a way to make my cleaning life a little easier, boy do I like to do it. Alright, that's good enough for government work. Boom. Upper receiver is clean. So now we'll do another video showing how to reassemble this. Okay?